Welcome back. We have Monique Bassmeyer joining us from Abbott Wealth Management on this Wednesday afternoon. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Susan.
Yes, we are talking today about what I've heard in the past anyway to be the #1 cause of problems in marriage, and that is money.
Yeah.
Money,
well,
a big fighter.
It
can make for problems.
It is. And it's funny though, because last weekend it was our wedding anniversary, and that kind of got me inspired to do some research on this particular topic.
Okay.
So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, you're right. The #1 topic that most people or most couples argue about is usually money. And a study shows from the Financial Planning Standard Council that actually when couples talk more about money, they argue less. But there's more to it than that, of course. It's just not the talking.
Okay.
What they need to know how to talk about money, and they need to know how to spend and how to save and keep that conversation open. Learn more about each other's financial habits. And work out the differences. That's easier said than done. But look at your credit card statement, your bank statement, your debt obligations, the credit score. I mean, it's not really the most romantic thing to do, of course, but it's important to know what you get yourself into, especially when you are making the decision to get married or even living together. Most of the time, after a certain period of time, the law will see us as one entity. So prepare yourself for possible consequences regarding that aspect of things.
We have some graphics. I don't know if we're behind in the game here, but here we go. Couples and money. Again, one of the #1 problems that can come up when you are either cohabitating or married. Continue on, Monique.
Yeah, so why is it so hard for couples to talk about money? And it basically comes with our history, the lessons we may have learned, the emotional connection we have with money itself. And the study shows that it is so emotional, grounded in our emotional center, that the emotions can really get easily provoked and triggered. So yeah, learn about what the other person is doing well, and yeah, just compliment each other on that. That is important, I guess. And developing the skill of having better money conversations in general.
Absolutely. And then there's the argument, do we have a shared bank account, or do we have separate bank accounts, or do we have separate bank accounts with a shared bank account in the middle?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that there is, what I've learned, there's no right or wrong answer. It depends on what you and your partner are comfortable with.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it's all about communication. So if you have that expectation up front and have that open conversation, then there's no, then there's no gray in the black and white area, we always say.
Right.
So especially in the beginning, when you start as a couple, maybe some helpful tools is to have a cash system or an envelope system, that you allocate some money to certain budgets. And for example, okay, what does it cost from a grocery perspective? How much do we need to put aside? And again, are we doing that joint, or are we, doing it all separate? That totally depends. What do we want to do with the entertainment budget for this month? Do we want to allocate? Do we want to eat out, or do we want to allocate it to some common goal that we're trying to achieve? The main important thing is really to get knowledgeable about the cost of your life and the impact it will have. So know what comes in, know what comes out, and how much. And then if you know that, and based on the goals you might have, you can actually allocate these in a more purposeful way.
And good communication around this issue is always a good thing.
Yeah, and having also a strong commitment to help your partner get to achieve what he or she wants in life. And if you start like that from the beginning, to see it as a journey for you both, then the whole money conversation has a total different dynamic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We have a question of the week. Should we get to that?
Yeah, sure.
And here it is on the screen. When I start building my emergency fund, what is the appropriate amount to have in it?
It totally, that's not a simple answer again, but it totally depends on your lifestyle, your income, what are your costs, do you have dependents or not, that all comes into play. The rule of thumb we kind of apply is have 3 to 6 months of cost into your bank account.
But how many people have that really? You know, I think that there's less people that do, but I think it's a good idea to start working towards making that goal happen.
Yeah, at least, start and begin somewhere at some point. But knowing that you have that in your bank account set aside only to dip in when there's actually an emergency and just think about it that it's not there, then
And a nice pair of shoes is not an emergency.
No, Susan, it's not.
That's what I keep telling myself. Anyways, okay, good tips and good advice today, Monique. Thank you so much for being here. If you have questions for Abbott Wealth, information's on the screen, abbottwealth.com, along with the email, phone number 372-3736. We are back after a quick break. Stay with us.